This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 7, verse 31. And they that use this world is not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Kal Halayim Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKwadash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles of Great Millstone, and the elders who rule well and are worthy of the double honors. Peace and blessing to you, Aki, and pushing out this truth across the four corners during these last 6 of time. Shalom. Back at you with another lesson, going to be entitled, We Live in a Temporary Environment. In parentheses, our kingdom come. We live in a temporary environment, parentheses, our kingdom come. In this environment that we live in, all right, this world, that we see it, cannot compare to the glory which is to come in the kingdom of heaven. This is 1 Corinthians 7 and 31. And they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. That's right, being the user of this world, not an abuser. Wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove, knowing that your adversary walketh about seeking whom he may devour. In a society where the fashion is only but for a moment. Now let's read the same verse in the NLT. This is 1 Corinthians 7 and 31 in the NLT. Those who use the things of the world should not become attached to them, for this world as we know it will soon pass away. That's right. And we see on the planet Earth right now the birth pains up into the deliverance of the nation of Israel. And those birth pains coming by the way of famine, pestilence, mass death, all right, violence, raging, envy, strife, hatred, vanity, vexation, all in an all-time high, ultimately to be delivered and destroyed by those nuclear missiles that will be shot from the ends of the world. But the Most High promotes us, all right, and encourages us to be in the mindset of knowing that the environment that we live in is temporary, and to always keep our minds and spirits on the heavenly things and the heavens, the kingdom. All right, now let's get that word fashion from 1 Corinthians 7 and 31. Fashion, it says, schema, kind of like a scheme. Schema. Kind of reminds you of scheme. It says schema, Strong's G 4976, the habitus as comprising everything in a person which strikes the senses, the figure, bearing, discourse, actions, manner of life. Hey, you can liken that on to that image, the image of the society, man. The figure, that's the image. The bearing, discourse, actions, manner of life, etc. So it says, 1 Corinthians 7 and 31, and they that use this world is not abusing it for the fashion, and as we just read, that definition goes into the what? The manner of life, okay, the figure, the image. So the image of this world passeth away, right? And that image, which is the NATO and the EU, it's going to be destroyed in this Third World War, man. The militaries, all right, who promote that image of Babylon, of these other nations, they're going to be destroyed in this Third World War by Yahushua and the holy angels and the chariots of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So by us knowing those things, all right, we take upon the mindset that we know this world is temporary and we act as such. Does that mean that we just go out, all right, and use all the money we have, all right, or just abuse our vehicle or careers that we have? No, we wait upon the Lord, man. It said use the world, not abuse it, okay? Because when you abuse the world, you're not acting in the spirit, all right? When you're a user of this world, okay, you're dealing righteously, although you be in the midst of your enemies, all right? Now, we got that fashion, okay? Now, I want to go back to it in the KJV and just read it again one more time. This is 1 Corinthians 7 and 31. and they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world shall pass away. All right, and I just want to get this precept. All right, in the book of Second Peter's, and I'm gonna start at verse 11, verse 10. Salakia, 2 Peter 3:10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, and the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. That's right, man. And the earth is going to receive a cleansing via nuclear fire. All right. And with that cleansing via those intercontinental ballistic missiles, the fashion of this world, the image, all right, the philosophies that are pushed, the dogmas, all right, the vibration, is going to be burnt up. Okay. But before ultimately those nuclear missiles destroy America, okay, the birth pains are going to destroy America from within. And as you see, all right, you have inflation, you have pestilence looming, okay, you have the stock market crash, which is it's at the door, man. All right, you have this charagma, all right, CBDC, this digital currency about to be pushed at an all-time high, all right, according to Revelation of 16th chapter, all right, 16th verse, okay, that charagma, okay, that stamp of this society, of this image, man, that fashion, all right, and that's a part of this fashion. So the Lord says, read the letter in, the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up, right, because the earth is ultimately not going to be destroyed. The scriptures tell you that the earth abideth forever. Just this rulership, all right, the vibration and the fashion of this world is going to be taken away, man. That image, okay. And I wanted to get that word environment just quickly off Google, going into the title of the lesson, that we live in a temporary environment. I'll get that word temporary first. All right, we live in a temporary environment. It's the word temporary. It says temporary, lasting only for a limited period of time, not permanent. You see, not permanent. Short term, okay? So our dealings in this society are ultimately temporary, okay? And as the scripture said, we're users and not abusers. So do we go out and just destroy our whole livelihood and say, hey, America's going to get destroyed. What do we need a house for? What do we need a car for? No, we know those things are ultimately gonna belly up, so say. But we keep our trust in the Most High, man. We're operating on the Most High's timing, all right? Because we know our kingdom come. Let's get that word environment. It says environment. The surroundings are conditions in which a person, animal, or plant lives or operates. The surroundings are conditions in which a person, animal, or plant lives or operates. So, as you see, we got that word temporary. Okay, now we got an environment. So it's basically, okay, a non-permanent surrounding or condition. Okay, this low condition, all right, of the flesh that we're put in is ultimately temporary. We seek for the heavenly things. We seek for the celestial powers and the celestial beings that guide this seen world, which the unseen guides the seen world. It says, in the second one, it says, the natural world as a whole or in a particular geographical area, especially as affected by human activity. Okay? Now, the title of the lesson is, we live in a temporary environment. Okay, and I want to touch on this latter part. It says, especially as affected by human activity, because the human activity, all right, has affected, starting with Esau, Edom, all right, the negative human activity has affected this environment for the worse, okay, for to destroy this place. So ultimately, that activity is going to be the same thing that restores it when the nation of Israel is ultimately in power, all right, starting with Yahweh Shai, okay? So our environment ultimately is going to be made eternal, although now it is temporary because it's under a temporary ruler, Esau, Edom. He's a temporary base man. All right, the Most High put him over us. All right, and I want to go back to that word temporary because that's likened on the Esau. It says a person employed on a temporary basis, typically an office worker who finds employment through an agency. And I just want to touch on the first part because it says a person, likened on the Esau, Edom, employed by the Most High, okay, on a temporary basis, typically an office worker who finds employment through an agency. So this is a temporary basis that Esau is in rulership for. It's a temporary oppression that he's putting on us. He's temporarily holding us captive, and ultimately our deliverer, Yahweh Shai, is going to set us free. All right. Now let's go back to 2 Peter 3 and jump to 11. It says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, all what things? The fashions of the world, the ways of the world, the conversations of the world, the dealings, the way the society is ran, the operations of the society, the way the image, okay, that figure, like that word fashion goes into. It says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons are ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? You see, that's why I put in parentheses, our kingdom come. All right, we live in a temporary environment, but our kingdom come, because although the society is going to be burnt up, our conversations are in the heavens, and that is where the kingdom is going to lie, in the heavens, okay? And it's going to be on earth, all right, the kingdom of heaven, like the scriptures tell you, on earth as it is in heaven, because the order comes from the heavens, all right? That's why we're going to be beamed up, and then we're going to come back down with that order, okay, in the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, in all holy conversation and godliness. Verse 12, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. How will the heavens be on fire? All right, this earth is going to get nuked, man. America is going to be nuked. All right, that nuclear fire is going to ultimately dissolve the works of the society. All right, and burn it up. Okay, and ultimately the elect of the nation of Israel will be saved from this destruction. Okay, verse 13. Nevertheless, we, according to His promise, look for new heavens and a new earth. Why? Because it's going to be rejuvenated. All right, let's get that word new. 2 Peter 2 and 13, and I'm gonna read it in the NLT as well. This is 2 Peter 2, and I'll start from where I begin at 10. It says, 2 Peter 2 and 10, Salakia 3, Salakia Akim, 2 Peter 3 and 10 in the NLT. But the day of the Lord will come as unexpectedly as a thief, when the heavens will pass away with a terrible noise, and the very elements themselves will disappear in fire, and the earth and everything on it will be found to deserve judgment. That's right, because that fire is ultimately serving as an agent of judgment from the Lord, all right, to cleanse this place and ultimately render justice. Verse 11, it says, since everything around us is going to be destroyed like this, what holy and godly lives you should live. That's right, holy and godly lives, knowing that the society is temporary, but ultimately knowing the bigger picture is the kingdom of heaven, and living our lives here in this temporary society by that same notion. Verse 12, looking forward to the day of the Most High and hurrying it along. On that day He will set the heavens on fire, and the elements will melt away in the flames. You see? Hurrying it along, looking forward to that day, and hurrying it along by doing what? By living this word, okay? Being that living testament, that living sacrifice of this word, okay? In this temporary society and environment. All right, verse 13, but we are looking forward to the new heavens and new earth He has promised, a world filled with the Most High's righteousness. Now, I want to get that word new and see if there's any information on it that we can go into.
Strong's G 2537.
Kainas, it says new as respects form. It says recently made, fresh, recent, unused, unworn. You see, because the earth is not going to be destroyed. It's just going to be made fresh, man. All right, renewed. Okay. And that renewing, all right, is going to be the renewing of the kingdom of heaven in Yasharallah, which is Israel, starting with Yahweh Shai. And right now, it's starting on the planet Earth by us renewing our minds. All right, like the scriptures tell you, you should be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This is Romans 12:2. And be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You see, it says be not conformed to this world because we live in a temporary environment. So you don't bend for this world. All right, you don't adjust your life for this world or try to, like the scriptures tell you, trim thyself to seek love from this society. No, what you do is you transform yourself by the renewing of your mind in the Lord. Okay, it says that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of the Most High. Right, and that's how you prove the will of the Most High, by transforming your mind, by renewing it, all right, so to speak. And I want to get that word as well, really quick. The word renewing in Romans 12:2. Oh, I'll read it in NLT. It says, don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let the Most High transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. You see, it says, don't copy the behavior and customs of this world. Why? Because it's temporary. All right, it goes against our power. Our power is eternal. Our power is everlasting. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is forever, man. All right? And ever and ever and ever. The scriptures tell you the saints shall take the kingdom and rule forever and ever and ever. Roughly paraphrasing, man. All right? So we're not going to trade forever for temporary, man. It says, but let the Most High transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know the Most High's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. Ooh, man, that's heavy. Good and pleasing and perfect. All right? So once we're transformed by the renewing of our mind, it says renewing, a renewal, renovation, complete change for the better. Ooh, man, so just going from that word new, all right, I'm going into that refreshing, all right? So the earth is going to be refreshed, all right, made new by that nuclear fire, but first it's going to start with the men of the Lord renewing their mind, all right, or completely changing for the better right here on the planet Earth, all right, in this temporary captivity, okay? So Lord willing, this message was edifying. I'm going to say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Loyim Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem HaKwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well and are worthy of their double honors. Peace and blessing to you, Akim, pushing out this truth across the four corners during these last 6 of time. Kwame Shalom.